Hello and welcome to 5 Minutes in North Grenville. My name is Dr. David Shanahan and I'm the historian for the North Grenville Historical Society. This is a series of short videos on historical and interesting sites around the municipality. In the photograph, you'll see a very impressive three-story building made of stone that is still in existence, but probably completely unrecognizable to most people today. When it was built in 1806, it was called Wilson's Inn, built by Samuel Wilson, and it became a hotel and a main stopping point on the stagecoach route from Bytown to Prescott. This is Hexton. This building is one of those that has survived one of those many experiences of fire that destroyed so many buildings in the municipality over the decades. Wilson's Inn was a stopping point on the stagecoach route because it was 25 miles from Prescott and about the same from Ottawa. It was a handy place for stages to actually stop overnight before they continued their journey the following day. It was a very well-built structure, as time was to prove. The walls are 18 inches thick, and the wooden floors were about 3 inches thick. It was built to last. In its earlier days, as a staging post, it was well-traveled, well-stayed in. It became an important part of the community, as many of these old buildings did. In the 1880s, Wilson sold it to James Eager, another important family in the Hexton South Gore community at the time. It continued as a hotel until the Rideau Canal, and then finally, of course, the railway arrived and made the stagecoaches obsolete. Without a stagecoach, the hotel had very little to offer. The more Grenville grew, the more Hexton declined in importance, declined in population, and in the number of travellers passing through the area. Originally, the main highway from Bytown to Prescott passed through Hexton. But again, with the growth of Grenville and with the rise of the railway, which stopped in Grenville but bypassed Hexton, the main road itself changed to bypass Hexton completely. So over time, this building became more of a community centre than an important stop on a regional level. It was used for so many different reasons. After the hotel ceased to exist as a hotel, the building was used for accommodation. So they were apartments. There were people living there, 15 families at a time in different parts of the building. It was used for events, for meetings, and sometimes even for church services. Before the Methodist Church was built, this building was used for church services for that congregation. In later years, it was opened as a store. John Gilmer opened it as a store at one point, and the upstairs then were redeveloped so that the entire upper floor was one room which had folding doors to divide it off as needed. And that upper floor became a concert hall, a dance hall, a meeting place for the community or for the municipal council. It was used for so many different purposes. So the building became a community centre, a political centre, a place where different service groups and clubs would meet. And for example, during the First World War, it was used as a Red Cross depot so that people would bring in supplies of material and wool and other kind of fabrics. They would be cut up into sections, distributed through the schools to parents who would stitch them together into pajamas and blankets and all sorts of stuff for the troops at the front, and then brought back to the depot and distributed from there, brought to Grenville, usually to the train station. In 1980, there was a disastrous fire, as is so often the case, and the entire building seemed to have been destroyed. In fact, it lost its top 2 floors completely. At first, they thought they would have to demolish the building. What was amazing was they discovered when they cleared away the debris that those 18-inch walls and 3-inch thick floors survived. So that ground floor has remained. It was developed into a store, maintaining a tradition of use over many decades, and survives today as a local general store and catering service, and still part of the community.